My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Monster Train. It's Banished and Under Legion today. Oh. What luck for me! Hersel's Horde gained 4 deployable energy. The deployable upgrade is 50% cheaper, and also Sword Maiden. In the deployment phase, I mean, whenever you summon her, but you summon her in the deployment phase ideally, draw an equipment card from your deck, and then when anyone on the Sword Maiden's floor is equipped, gain Valor 8. Also got 2 challenges and 2 spawning pods. Cool. Chosen Dominion, we're probably just going to be defending ourselves with the spawns. Fell. I don't love Shadow's Sheath here. So, Shadow's Sheath doesn't feel especially good in Banished, because a lot of the time in Banished, your highest damage and highest defense character is your frontliner, because your frontliner has all of the Valor stacks on it giving additional damage, and also giving it additional armor at the end of the turn as long as it's at the front. Which means that our unit in the front line is almost certainly going to kill, and then the units behind him do not have armor from Valor. So those would be the units that I end up revealing. Split Anvil, really depends how you play it, but sure. Unchained, shift to gain 1 Valor permanently. I really don't like doing that if I can avoid it. Vanguardian. Multi-strike 1, on Revenge, apply Valor 1 to friendly units. You have 20 health. I have to give you additional health eventually to keep you comfy. Where am I going? Almost certainly Merchant of Steel under Legion. Probably even Merchant of Magic under Legion after that, so if I'm not going heavy shift, then yeah, definitely not Unchained. Start a battle, enemies are British floor. Sure. Yeah. We can definitely deal with that. All right. Can only kill 3 units when they get up to the next floor, so Spear Steward on this line makes a bunch of sense. Effectively just farming these guys to get a bunch of Valor for Fell. Yeah, I mean, as long as the collector dies. Oh my god, I forgot about that. I literally had already forgotten about my... It's in my discard. Alright. I just ignored that I have a split anvil. So I'm just gonna make sure that I cast it at the appropriate time this time. Yeah, because I can literally just cast it here. And then just cause use to move forward. Don't even need to use the challenge on Fallen Champion to collect that. Great. Although, might as well. No better unit to use it on at the time. As long as I get to kill both of the Forsaken on that floor, we should be okay. Come on. Got him in the end. That was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. Divinity. For so many reasons, but also Split Anvil. Loves Divinity. Proliferate is so good. Yeah, I mean, I do like Split Anvil, but that doesn't mean that I have to draft only high-cost cards. Proliferate's incredible. I will say that Holdover Divinity is probably the best thing I can do right now, because it then just makes all of my other spells free, and then hopefully, like, Holdover double stack. I'm going to take Cluster Kernel. Moral Mistress would have a lot of decay triggers here. So maybe it's butter. The reason I want to go with Cluster Kernel here is just because Cluster Kernel is repeatable scaling. And that scaling, as in, like, every single turn, this generates another 12, 16 worth of stats. And also, each of those is a rally trigger, and each of those is a spawn, and each of those is a fungi, so they also trigger additional other things. Not that I have them collected at the moment, but they could. Moral Mistress. I do have 3 consume cards in the base deck, which is not a bad position to be in for Moral Mistress. It would help us sweep for a while. I'm a little worried that Fel doesn't really care that Moral Mistress exists. Dualism is also an offer in the store, and I was thinking of going Dualism for the Sword Maiden, and then you get ridiculous valor off of equipment that I put on that line, so I can play you anywhere, play additional equipment. Maybe I even end up duping the Swords Maiden with... I mean, I could one-size and Dualism you. I could theoretically have a floor that is just Swords Maiden, Swords Maiden, Swords Maiden, Fel. And then that's 3 Deployment Embers so far. I have 8. Then my job is just fill out the rest of, like, play all of the weapons that I just got. If I did that, so I'd be playing, 3 weapons, assuming. Each of those is 16 Valor, so we end up with 48 Valor on each of the Sword Maiden, which, like, because they don't have multi-strike, it doesn't really increase their damage that much. Their defense potential is the really cool thing that they get from that, which means that I would want to split you to a different floor than Fel's on. Which then leads me back in the direction of either Cluster Kernel or Moral Mistress. Moral Mistress would set up for Great Decay, but I can't just like go, ooh, there's a rare in the future that could be good if I get this. I think the big concern on my part is Moral Mistress wants dualism, but so does Swords Maiden. They can't both get it. And also, Moral Mistress could be my one size. We could go dualism one size on you, and then get a second copy of you, and then anytime... I just need consistency of consume triggers, which I'm as early as I possibly can be in the game to start getting that. There's your dualism. There is your one size. Sword Maiden, I don't think I need to give you additional health. Should I give additional health and regen to a Shield Steward? I think I need to lose a run like every 10. Because it reminds me I can't. I have to be careful in the first 2 lines. I'm so glad we got Elibor. Elibor wouldn't have killed like any of the runs that... Anyway, that was a different day. Yeah, I mean, it was still today. For me, it was an hour ago, but... All right. Focus on this run, Raps. Got... I mean, Fel, Swords Maiden, and Moral Mistress can all occupy the same floor. For us right now. I'm just gonna play Proliferate to clear the line. Okay, Divinity, and then as many troops as I can get. Also, weakness on you. And then I get the plus 10 health from Divinity Frontline at the end of the turn. Great! Hopefully this is enough overstack for the bottom line not to be at all scary. Gotta admit, that's not what I thought. Oh well. I think we'll still be okay. All's well. I was wondering about that. I think I'm supposed to take the Windblade. I don't want it. That's the downside. I want Selfless Sacrifice. But the Windblade would be... it'd be, you know, 1 Valor per turn for 1 unit at least, but it'd also be plus 8 Valor for Swords Maiden at the start of the... Give me Selfless Sacrifice. Loam Coat. Yeah. I mean, I wanted everything under the sun there, but I'll take Lone Coat. Legend of Magic. Spell chain, you say? That's great. That allows a card to double consume. Can't get the permafrost and spell chain though. It's definitely spell chain the proliferate. -2 cost consume. This is good because it turns a card into a consume card. +10, +20 magic power consume. Can't do that. Under Legion. I can see how the regen could help. I currently don't have a floor that actually does rally that much, though. If I took Cluster Kernel, I would, but then I wouldn't have the Enoki. But the Kernel's still good. Oh. Okay, so Dominating Authority would give us the summon from the deck, which at the moment is just the Spear Stewards. That's bad. Melee, Spell Weakness. I could give that to the Moral Mistress, and you'd give 2 Melee Weakness, 2 Spell Weakness to a unit that you strike, but you only strike 1 unit. I like the +10 damage, especially because you already have Dualism, so you'll be applying 20 corruption, and if I have 3 of you on the bottom line, which is ultimately my plan, still, that's why I gave you the mini stone. It'll be a lot better. Alright, Flesh Weaver. I just need you to get some decay early so that I get to really shred you. Bell, Moral Mistress, Cluster Kernel, bottom, then... Wait. It's the Regen Shield Steward top line because it needs to be able to survive the hit from the enemy and then strike back. And that one can do that, whereas this can't. And this'll... No, wait. Cluster Kernel. Not where you're meant to be. What do you mean it's my fault? And bottom line, I just need to get this loan code on the Bell. Gives us additional health to start with, but also we're going to propagate both our regen and our valor. Conscript, and then we move ahead of the conscript. Great, so now that can just be a unit that gets stacked. Everyone's got Valor on the bottom line, so we got great propagates from Proliferate. Beautiful. Divinity lowers the cost of everything. Already very comfortable with the amount of mass that we've started to shred. Gonna lose 5 health to a fleshling. No way to stop that, right? Oh, no, wait, there is. There we go. Shield Steward and Fun Guy take out the first one, and then Spear Steward takes out the second and dies to it. Saving his 5 health. Get him! Great decay! Really just wanted to summon it into existence. X costs are obviously ridiculous. Just makes every spell in hand free. Fun Guy in a Suit's nice as well. Oh, I got a dualism target. Give me the Tome of Evergrowth. So bottom line will need other things to fill it in, but I've been saying consistently it's Moral Mistress. I'm 100,000% going to that Merchant of Trinkets. I'm going this Merchant of Steel, that Merchant of Trinkets. Then my next dupe's at the very end unless I go to the Merchant of Steel again, which I probably don't. Which means I'm only putting one Moral Mistress on the bottom line. One additional, rather. Dupe this second Moral Mistress bottom line. Is that good? Sword Maiden's currently just drawing equipment that I put on a different unit. I wonder if Sword Maiden's the cut. I just don't see Puffball or Spore Launcher being that important to me here. I guess I could go Spore Launcher, Cluster Kernel behind. And then if anyone gets past that floor, Moral Mistress is standing behind Fel, ready to take him out. But Fel, I was trying to put you in the line of fire as much as possible so that you could give that Valor to a bunch of troops on the bottom line. I do like that Valor to a bunch of troops on the bottom line. No, I'm going all the way with the Moral Mistress strategy I talked about earlier. I'm going for the triple dupe on you, which means I'm going Merchant of Steel, Merchant of Trinkets, Merchant of Steel. Not thrilled about that. But that means our bottom line is going to be Fel, Mistress, Mistress, Mistress. Second line is going to be Sword Maiden, Cluster Kernel. No, it's going to be Spore Launcher, Cluster Kernel. I don't need additional deployment, Ember. I mean, I'm getting close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I max out my energy already. But it's got to be draw. Draw is energy for us as well, because if I draw another card that gets its cost decrease from Split Anvil, we're way better off. I am wondering if I should just look at the Merchant of Trinkets, because Merchant of Steel doesn't have that many benefits for me right now. There's no great upgrades for Cluster Kernel. You can upgrade him, sure. Doesn't use all of them especially well. Dualism, but both of you are effectively just bodies right now. I don't need a banished unit. All right. I can buy I think any trinket will be affordable for me. Drawing equipment in deployment phase. I'm going to be dodging arms, dodging... My next arms is in observatory, way too late. Lights and Scourges cost 0. I'm just entertaining all of the choices before I click Ever Churning Soil. Let's look at the Celestial Fog first. Stygian Guard drop pick. No way in hell. Gifts for a guard would be really good. How do I feel about Siren Song top line? Sometimes people are going to have a bunch of decay and corruption on them and just need a little longer to die. Deep Offering, of course, one of the best draw cards in the entire game, but gotta decrease that cost. And I'm going Trinkets, Steel, Magic, probably? Spike of the Stygian's decent only if it is fully sapping the enemy for me. Chosen of Dominion, if I can sap you such that you don't even attack, it's really useful. I'm gonna take the Safety of Sirens. This is weird. This is the one that I would never click out of all these three. Anyway. And I'm not even necessarily saying it's a good idea right now. I'm just saying that I've got a lot of DOTs and not a lot of direct damage, and it feels like maybe it possibly could contribute something in the future. Does this need to change how I play? I don't need to summon the Spore Launcher in deployment. That's access to requirement right now. -1 energy. I'm incapable of casting Divinity. That's okay. The money matters. I'm going to a Merchant of Trinkets after this. The money matters. Right, I was like, why have I got all of this extra energy? It's because I wasn't thinking about Sword Maiden, draw Loam Coat bottom line. Hilarious. I play out Dominion's Eye, but now I don't have enough energy to play any of my consume cards. That's so rude. Okay, this is the kind of thing I'm looking for. Draw 2 additional cards. That's just 2 additional costs for me. I guess just in case the boss gets all the way up there, there's the Siren Song. Perfection. Spawning pots. Decreases the cost of all the cards in hand. Tome of Evergrowth for our dualism. I could sap 6 and give 6 regen to Fel. I could also just take 8 damage away from an enemy. That sounds a lot better. Nothing got to be done. You just get to watch it resolve. Get him, guys. Descend to Blind Melee Weakness 2 for trying to move Seraph Eternus off of its floor. Not bad. Heroic Dive. Descend. Then advance a friendly unit. Deal damage to the front enemy equal to 2 times this unit's health and armor. So that bottom line is going to be overstacked. I'm not playing additional units that line. Which means that the second line, Spore Launcher, I could just send you down with a Heroic Dive. I could also use Demonize to do the same. Also, Heroic Dive and Deadly Plunge are both consume cards. I'd have to like Just Cause immediately afterwards, which makes it a little riskier, but I am drawing 7 cards a turn, which makes that easier. This Heroic Dive, thank you. Roram? It's pretty decent room for the bottom line. When out of energy, cards can be played for their cost in Pyre health. Non-banning units have deployable. Karmic Sensor, shift to reason additional time, irrelevant as well. I take Ancient Pyre Tap or nothing here. Ancient Pyre Tap is usually best used in the deployment phase, because you don't want to be using it consistently. But I already have a bunch of additional deployment energy. I wonder if the option here is roll. Looking for things that have more direct impacts than Ancient Pyre Tap. Alternatively, I could look at Ancient Pyre Tap as a way to bypass all energy costs. Don't have many ways of healing my Pyre, though. Something Hymnist applies Valor 5 to friendly units. If I had any Hymnists, absolutely. Winged Steel gives me another card draw, though. Literally just card draw. Card draw, card draw, card draw, energy. I have a lot of card draw. Maybe I should just take the Pyre Tap. I want to roll. I want to roll real badly. I can't even... I shouldn't use the dupe option first. Screw it. Dante's Footstool would give me deployable Grow Room, which is great. Or Siren Song, which is even also great. Twisting Mycelium. There's a non-zero value to Vulgar Gauge here. Draw 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's after. So I'd be drawing 8 cards a turn by default. Only problem is if I am going to get a bunch of Moral Mistresses, it's going to screw with their cost. Spawn bottom line isn't the most important thing. Okay. I'll take Dante's Footstool. Query me on a different day, and I'd probably do a completely different thing there. Give me the additional Moral Mistress that I've been asking for so much. I can't believe I was even looking for a second there, like, what do I do? Spends the entire run setting up for one specific dupe. Gets to that dupe. I wonder what I should do here. I'm wondering if maybe I should save an energy somehow so that I can go Spore Launch a Cluster Kernel top line. Probably be shorting myself one of the Moral Mistresses to do so. Because I can't summon Spore Launcher after Cluster Kernel's been there for a turn. I guess I can go Shield Steward, Spore Launcher, and then wait. Dominion's Eye has been really annoying. Can't overstack this floor anymore, might as well. Just gonna burn the Calcified Ember this time. Sporting Pod. And then we also grab Tome of Evergrowth to prevent a little bit of the incoming damage. Because if you don't strike, you can't apply Corruption. At start of combat. And resolve us at the end of combat, so we're never going to give Decay to an enemy on that line. Got it. Nothing need to be done here. Yeah, doubling up on the proliferate. Huge. Yeah. We're all good. Liquid Courage. 1000%. I really do like truffles. It's also consistent spawn for weapons, so like it's a little bit more on the Artificer trigger. Sword Maiden is no longer an important part of this deck. Just give me the fun guy. Give me the fun guy. I really want to go to the Merchant of Magic. Anyway. Quick. And Dualism. This is weird. Another, yeah, there's the Moral Mistress. Who among you needs to attack at quick speed? I'm gonna go Dualism, Spore Launcher, and plus 10, 20 regen. Makes you a good unit to stand on the second floor and just be comfortable there. And then I mean, like, yeah, cluster. This is probably the last Merchant of Steel I go to. It's definitely the last Merchant of Steel I go to. I'm going to give you quick, just to give you some additional damage. And then I'm going to give you plus 20 health, just to try and keep comfy. Fire remains. I mean, yeah, I got cards to purge. Let's cut 2 out of there and head to Strix and Hello. I'm taking energy, by the way. Deployment energy, no. The turn over turn energy, I need some additional turn over turn energy, please. Beautiful. Oh, this is disgusting. Fungi in a suit. Spawning pod. Eager conscript. Then I'm just gonna cause myself to go to the front of the party instead. That's half of the health of Strix this turn. This is gonna end the fight really quickly. I reserve the right to come back and prevent myself from doing so much damage to Strix, because... I do need to be able to survive. Actually pretty good. I mean, if I really want to, I can chomp. Lost the Colonel and a single troop defends that floor. I think I've now got enough Valor that we're actually comfortable with this. Big Divinity. Heroic Dive, Descend and Advance. Yeah, I'll Descend and Advance the troop. And I'll... challenge the boss. I'll move back in front of the troop and then double up on... Oh, double proliferate. I'll do it once. It's nice not to have Dragon Horde or Avarice or, you know, permanent growth to worry about in a fight, and just to go hell to leather. Get the hell out of here. I mean, Twin Blade's nice, but it will lower our damage a lot. Who would even want to wield it? It's multi-strike though, so it's one of the best ways to get additional damage. Oh, I could just give it to a Moral Mistress. 40 more corruption? Ooh, Racking Pain will also do a lot of damage based on what we're... Oh, but even Tome of the Lost Path or a Consume trigger. Truly could be anything. So I was going to go Merchant of Arms after this. And make the Grow Room naturally deployable. So the Siren Song is drawn for free. I am a bit scared of that Cursed Twin Blade not giving me as much value as it ends up taking away from me. I think I have enough strikes on the bottom line. I'm gonna take it. And here I have to go energy just because I mean, I actually do need a little bit of additional deployment energy at the moment. Overgrowth, Carapace, and Exile's Diadem. Yeah, the Moral Mistresses, sure, I could give them 20/20 additional size a turn, but I'd have to play one less of them, and I do not want to play one less of them. Stewards, we're not doing a Stewards top floor. I don't think Diadem's bad. Just don't think it really changes anything. And also, if I drew it with my weapon draw at the start of the fight instead of Loam Coat or Cursed Twin Blade, I'd be pretty sad about that. Yeah, I'm going full roll. Void Armament's pretty interesting, but I don't. Again, it's just Cursed Twin Blade again. I'd use it to remove the Stewards, probably most. Yeah, none of these feel especially good. Let's make that grow room naturally deployable. I can merge these two into a single piece of equipment. And I could play it in deployment phase. Probably shouldn't. Goodbye to the rest of the stewards from the base. Why offer this so late? I feel nervous saving this much money, but I am pretty in control right now. Swordbane doesn't even reliably draw the weapon I care about right now. Yeah. Wouldn't have gotten the Loam Code even if I wanted it. And I did want it. But I didn't get it. Fungi in a suit. Perfectly sets us up. Let's give some Evergrowth to one of you. Self-sacrifice my way back to the front. Couple just causes out there. Completely sap you, then double proliferate for, yeah, 244 decay on all of these enemies, I think. Beautiful. There's that Loam Coat, and I can even start propagating additional damage shield now. How the hell did you get 6 damage shield? Oh, yes. It got proliferated as well. I'm just gonna send the fungi down to join its friends. This entire floor propagates once at end of turn. So another target that's also got damage shield on it is the best choice here. Or rather, giving damage shield to a second target. Okay. Spawning pods got drawn. Thank you, Winged Steel, for making the rest of my hand free. I'm actually gonna... I'm gonna basically fully reorder the enemy side. Let's send you and then you to the front. So I can kill everyone except for the Avowed Gladiator, who I actually can't touch, and then I'll sap you big style. I'm gonna send you up with a melee weakness. Got him. They're dazed and in the top, but no resolution phase for them. We bite on the bottom and win. Woo! Everlasting Light's pretty good. Wait, where am I going in the final? Magic, right? Yeah, magic. Maybe Heroic Dive then instead. And Mulch. Need more Consume cards is what that previous... Remove Consume? I'm gonna remove Consume from Tome of Evergrowth. And then I'll start giving Consume to things again. Create a permanent copy of the first Consume card late each battle. Great, that's just a second Consume card. 3 less Deployment Ember for an extra energy per turn. Not needed. Certainly not needed as much as the Deployment energy is. Spell cards with Consume have a 50% chance to be discarded instead. The fact that this is a direct anti-synergy with Etch, if I recall correctly, this was in the first game, and Wormkin had the Etch keyword in the first game. I think it was anti-synergistic there as well. I think if you play a card that currently has the keyword Consume on it, it should trigger the Etch. It shouldn't need the card to actually be consumed. No, maybe that's a bad idea. Because then you can't just, consume other cards from your hand with things like Sacrificial Resurrection. Not that there's that many sources of being able to consume other cards in your hand with a different card in your hand. But Etch would not trigger in that instance. It does feel strange that if you really care about Consume, then the relic that most supports Consume is bad. And so's Pyre Sparks in Breath of the Heaven, so a little awkwardly, we're not going to get anything from that. I don't need any of those Permafrost. Intrinsic, though. I think Intrinsic, the Tome of Evergrowth. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold over the Divinity at full cost. Plus 20 magic power consumed. Nothing can take that. Ember Stone. Reduce the cost of the only other 3-cost spell in hand. For our final removals. Yeah, the Just Causes need to get out of here. I'll remove them in equal measure with the Eager Conscripts. All right, I come around and I stand by it. I'm duping the Tome of Evergrowth. It's intrinsic. So, here's the plan. If I give Tome of Evergrowth to 2 Moral Mistresses, they can sap a target for 24 health, 24 damage every turn. If I sap the boss enough times, it'll not be able to attack. And then if it can't attack, it won't be able to double corruption on the targets that it otherwise would have attacked. Oh my god. We got both heroic dives this turn, which means I'm capable of doing something real wild. I'll do it. Spawning bot on the bottom line. Oh, no. Okay, proliferate on the bottom line. I get 2 additional copies of that, and then 1 spawning pod. Great, everything 0 costed. Then I will send down the Spore Launcher, and then I'm also going to send down Cluster Kernel. Actually, Cluster Kernel should have gone first, right? Not that it matters, because I'm going to be moving Fell back to the front at the end of the turn. There's some damage shield for you, Fell. Also, keep those abilities out. Then move Fell back to the front, proliferate, and proliferate. Managing to go full overstack to the bottom line. Come on! was hoping for a bunch of consume cards this turn, but I'll settle for a bunch. Stack that fungi. And also, boom, no damage on Cereboturnus. Don't have to worry about your stuff anymore. I'm going to have the Moral Mistresses give one another regen so that they get to survive the corruption they have. So you take 700 damage a turn without any interference from us. Burn Calcified Ember, get another ability. Yeah, I'll sap the hell out of my own units. As long as they survive Dominion. Doesn't matter to me. This is huge. Burn the... Is that last Calcified Ember? Yeah, that's the last Calcified Ember from the deck. Everyone's got a tome! Woo! Just imagine if I had Spirit Breakers or any of the things that trigger off of an ability use. Can I not keep him alive? Really? There's not enough regen in the world to keep you alive? Well, whatever. Oh yeah, because all I needed to do actually was sap the boss one time so it wouldn't get enough damage to be able to attack. Not that it matters. See where we are, see what we're doing. It's time for the Titans. Yeah, if you gave me Loam Code, I would consider playing it. Over maybe one of my units, but definitely not now. Sap the hell out of that. that. Then proliferate. That's the dupe. Then selfless sack, leaving me enough energy to proliferate, proliferate, and proliferate. If I can't send 2 units down at the same time, it doesn't make any sense to send any of them down. No, what do I do about the assassins? How am I gonna survive? Anyway, sap the hell out of them, no problem. These challenges are for Dominion to amp your damage. The melee weakness on you, doubling the damage of Herzl's Horde for each stack. Well, we're already done against Savagery and Entropy, so it's just Dominion to worry about now. So I'll give you Challenge, and then I will propagate your melee weakness. Oh my god, look at this hand. Vengeful Shard, and then Divinity. Woo! Make spells cost 0. I love it when a spell costs 0. I buffed all these units. Let them hit me. I do know I have a bunch of abilities here that I could be using. I do not think I need to use them. Dominion is down. And then I'm just gonna, for the fun of it, no one on the bottom floor gets to attack. Oh, okay, the Chosen Sniper would get to attack, but it doesn't get enough time to, because the top line is dead. This is literally just a case of looking at the board and realizing how many doubles I can stack up in a row. So, when I say that, our first unit was the Moral Mistress. And then in our first store, we saw Dualism and Mini Stone. Which, so the Moral Mistress is 8 decay to all enemy units on etch for 2 size, which means, you know, without a capacity upgrade, you can put 2 of them on the same floor. Dualism now makes that 16 decay per 2 size. Mini Stone makes that 16 decay per 1 size, and then I have 3 slots that I'm capable of filling with it. So I can turn that all the way from etch decay 8 to etch decay 48. That's the power of doubles. Triples is best, actually, for the unit, but doubles for the stacks. Tome of Evergrowth, I think, actually pulled us, like, real through. Like, we would have had to scramble a bit more, and it probably would have been a bit annoying, but we would have managed without it. But I think we managed to manage in a lot more style with it. Let's head back to the outpost so I can tell you that my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is the series playlist. For all of my content on the game, past, present, and future, YouTube recommendation is down below. Streaming past are the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. At above the thank tier, and a special thanks this episode to Eloise. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.